I had the honor and privilege of visiting Africa Town in Alabama. I was excited for this opportunity to learn more about the history of Africa Town after reading Zora Neale Hurston's book, Barracoon. In Barracoon, she follows the journey and learns more about the experiences of Mr. Cujo Lewis. Many say, and the connection is, he had one of the last documented narratives of someone who could recall his experience on a slave ship. And let's put this into context. He was one of the 110 enslaved Africans that were kidnapped and smuggled in the United States in the fall of 1860 by Captain William Foster. So, if we get a sense of what this means, that despite the 1807 Act prohibiting the importation of slaves or enslaved people, that the Clotilda slave ship was built. It was built by Timothy Mayer, and Mayer basically set out a wager with some other wealthy friends of his that he could bring in a cargo of enslaved Africans despite the prohibition of importation. And what happened is, the reality of it is, many denied what happened. But the voice of Cujo Lewis and others helped to document this journey. And what we also know that in 2019, the remains of the Clotilda boat were discovered near the Bay of Mobile. What does this mean for us today? It means that, of course, we can take a glimpse at history and learn some important lessons. That Cujo Lewis and others within his community were remarkable individuals. They have a despite of story. Despite being kidnapped and smuggled into the United States and enslaved, they went beyond those chains of bondage and built their own community. They bought their own land in Africa Town. And what they built together was a community with their own economy, a community of love and care. Those are some examples and lessons we can take away today. And we also can be empowered to learn more about history, to have that Sankofa moment, to reclaim the power of those who built Africa Town and tell their story of resilience and courage. And one of the descendants of Clotilda, of the history of a strong and determined people, is Miss Joycelyn Davis. And one of the quotes that I read from her is that it's not about the ship. Although Clotilda and the ship has been discovered and documented, it's not about the ship, it's about the people. And I hope it can be a reminder for each and every one of us that as we learn more about history and culture, we can help to then build a better future, one step at a time, one story at a time, and one action at a time. This is a powerful call to leadership.